Walking along this street, which I walk along all the time, and this Art Deco stained glass just caught my attention. I'll try and show you against the light. Doesn't look all that exciting on its own, but it's very gorgeous. It's definitely the original. I'm showing you that part of it mostly because even though you can see like the mirroring and how they match up, obviously you can't see that well the colouring apart from the windows behind it, but this is the original porch. And what's quite interesting is, other than that hook there, the hook caught my attention because it made me think of my mum's house, well, where I grew up when I was a kid, and how that had a hook in the kitchen because it used to be a butcher's house. And the relevance, like later in life, obviously hit me about the fact that it used to be a butcher's house, and that's why I had a hook there. That's what I was always told. And this is the original Art Deco as well. It's quite interesting because I've got a stained glass window in my house, but it's not the original, but the style is Art Deco. I never really thought of these houses as being particularly Art Deco period, but clearly they are. Well, I was gonna film up by my little spot today. I've got some boring stuff in there, cat food and stuff like that. Hey, yeah, I'll just show you this bit down here. I was zooming. The cross on top of that church is what I'm trying to show you without filming that bad. There. That's one of the sides of the building, which is a nursery now, or a school. They're all nurseries or schools, aren't they, these old church buildings? Oh, look at the birdies. And the canal's just behind there. Anyway, what we're going to, I may as well film this, seeing as we're at the front of it for once. I don't normally film from this angle, but I'm always going on about the quadruple aspect of these 4 buildings here. So, seeing as, and this is an old school, so even though I have filmed them from the front before, seeing as I have unexpectedly ended up filming sooner than I expected to, there you go. This is the back of the buildings, which I'm always filming the opposite side of. And look, you can see it says here, school. So I guess this was built as a school originally. I mean, it certainly looks that way, doesn't it? Now, look at the pillaration and whatnot. Ooh, he nearly got attacked by the branches, from what I was going to say, from the weeping willow branches. No, they aren't weeping willow branches, they're from silver birch tree. I'm going to stop filming for a moment, then I'll film again when we get round to my little spot. I'll just show you, just so you can really get a grasp of the duality, the quadriplegic, that's what I want to say. See, that's why I'm always saying these buildings are really interesting, because they're not just dualistic, but more than just duality. It's all is, obviously. Anyhow, I will film some more from my little spot in a minute. Just heard voices. Let's just show you this. There, look at the day, by the way. Isn't it glum? It's a glum, miserable day. But for a glum, miserable day, oh, hang on a minute, little blue tits. Let's try and zoom into them. Just literally landed right on this branch here. If it had been without that sign in the way, we would have had the best footage ever. Alright, I'm going to switch it off for a minute and I'll film if my spot's still there. If it hasn't been vandalised or anything, I will film again in a minute. Bye. Oh yeah, I never noticed that before. It's got a circular wall. How interesting. You see? It looks circular, the wall. Now, bearing in mind this isn't just any house, it's Bramham Lodge, which I've had interest in for quite a long time now. That's rather an interesting detail which I hadn't noticed. The circulation to that wall, which is in part of, I mean, well, one would think that they own the land up to the wall. It's just that clearly they're not into the gardening because they don't actually do anything with it. But actually, it's really interesting. I'm just looking now. I can't believe I never noticed before. I don't know how I look big on camera though, what I'm seeing. But look at the different stages of the circulation. It's like steps, isn't it? It looks like steps going up. So that's how it looks when I'm looking at it from here. I've never noticed that before. You know, when I very first started filming stuff, I always thought, oh, how boring it is to keep filming the same things. But it's not boring at all. You see more, you know. If you want to, well, you don't necessarily have to film the same things, do you? But I mean, I found by carrying on filming places, you see more details, more things pop out at you, things that you wouldn't necessarily notice. But on the other hand, that's one of the reasons why I like not filming sometimes, because sometimes I don't film more than what I do film. So I often feel like speaking, and even if I do feel like speaking, it doesn't necessarily mean I've got things I want to say. Now, I just want to show you the view, and I definitely will switch off and start again. But basically, what I'm trying to show you is the view directly opposite to Bramham Lodge. Now, obviously, there's circulation, isn't there? Nothing's a direct straight line, but that's a pretty interesting view, isn't it? And for some stupid reason, I've never had the urge to turn around and film behind me when filming Bramham Lodge before. But you know, these buildings are all mapping out. Like, you know, it's all got meaning. It's all so occult. And like the way that a town's mapped and laid out obviously has meaning. And so I find it really interesting. And people can be as patronising as they want about the videos I make and the things I say and do. It doesn't really bother me. At the end of the day, people don't like it, they don't have to watch it, do they? Anyway, I will switch this off and I'll start again from the log on a totally different topic, I think. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I might not film anymore. See how inspired I am or aren't. Well, I've only just switched the camera back on. Interestingly, I'll get closer to my little spot and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Like, seriously, there's been a fire there. That was not like that before. You can see all the charcoal. I'm not impressed about this because it's basically my area that's been like attacked and vandalised. And then that branch there shouldn't be like that. Look, have you heard me? Talking about it like it's my garden someone's vandalised, but it looks alright, mess, there's rubbish everywhere. No, I haven't been here since I last filmed here. I used to just come and sit here. It just looks like I've got a bin and like scattered the rubbish everywhere. What a disgrace. It's disgusting. I'll say what I'm going to have to do, but I'm not going to be doing it today because I've just finished work and I'm actually quite tired. I've not really got anything with me, but I'm going to come and pick all this rubbish up if it stays like this here. Because, I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't want it to turn into a kids' dumping zone. And that's kind of how it's looking. You know, these are kids items. But I'm not sure about the fire. Like, this is my log. Before I come in, this will have been burnt down next, so I better not get burnt down. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I mean, to be honest, for a while now, every single time I've come back here, I've been like actually surprised that I've had something to come back to. Look at the state of that. It looks really odd because clearly there's been like a fire, but at the same time, because you can see the charcoal and everything down here, but at the same time I wonder when it was, because look, all of these leaves here are completely undisturbed, and yet you can see here, how sad. And look, I'll show you more. This is what, so I've walked down to here and I'm like, oh, my area's being destroyed. It hasn't been destroyed, but it's going to be destroyed, isn't it? I'll tell you what else caught my attention when I very first stopped filming. I'm not coming down here now. Time's locking on too much. And it's too messy. It needs all cleaning up. See, it's even trying to trip me up. So I just stopped filming a second ago, and I'm walking down here, and of course that catches my attention, but the very first thing that caught my attention the second I stopped filming was, I'm like, oh my god, what's happened here? It looks so insignificant, but actual fact, when I filmed here last time and that bloke was stood just there, just in that clearing behind this tree here, he was literally stood right by, well, in that gap, but like further forwards, he wasn't at the top. Anyhow, the long and short is that all of this here, I actually filmed because I was pointing out the shape of it. But also I wanted an excuse to film that. I didn't know how else to do it. So that means that I actually do have this on film. Last time I filmed here, which would be about a month ago. It may be 3 weeks ago, something like that. Not that long ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago. I have no idea. It wasn't very long ago, just so much happened. Anyway, my battery's nearly flat. I wasn't expecting to start filming so early. And I wasn't expecting to come here and it's just to look like a dumping zone. So I'll walk up this way, I think, and I'll show you where that man was. Let's see if we can find anything of any interest, actually. If I can make it up the hill without sliding back down. Ugh. I tell you something quite funny that happened on the way up. I want to see if there's anything of any interest here, first off. So, where we are stood now is where that person was stood when I was just sat down there. You see, that was my spot by that rock there. And you can see, you would have seen me perfectly. I'd have been sat just like there. So, look, this area is quite interesting. You can see, sorry, I didn't mean to drop that. Look at all this rubbish. I mean, what is this? A hangout zone which only has people that look like sketchy stalkers that stand here. Because I spend a lot of time down there and I've never ever seen kids playing here. But then I don't come out at times where you'd see them. But look, this isn't the kind of stuff which kids, I mean normal kids have. This is the kind of stuff which, there's booze and stuff down there. It's the kind of stuff which adults or teenagers have. But I've never seen anyone here. That's the whole point. The kind of times I come down here are the kind of random times where if it was kids that were like going to drink and stuff, they'd be here. I've only ever seen people here that look like as if they're either stashing drugs or standing, literally gawping at me. You can see my log from here as well. You can just see it. I will zoom in and then I'm going to stop filming before my battery goes dead. If I can catch it on here. I can see it with my naked eye, but it could take me about half an hour to find it on here. It's really hard on high zoom. You see that bit of wood there? Amongst the green. Not obviously the branches, but the brown. That's my log. And there's the thingamajiggy next to it. So this is quite literally exactly here. I think it was this one that person was hiding behind, but it might have been this one. Yeah, I think it was this one actually, purely because when I was doing that hex, like there's a hex, where I was just showing you the material just down there, which looks like a hexagon or an octagon shape beneath the material. I couldn't see him, but I knew I was just beneath him. What I'm not sure about is if he was behind this tree or that tree. It doesn't really matter which tree he was behind, does it? All that really matters is the fact that it's not the first time I filmed there and there's been some weirdo just stood watching. But in a weird way, so it was never like he was just in a weird way, like he wasn't really doing anything, he was just stood there watching, hovering around. Look at this. It looks so much like a doorway, doesn't it? What does it enter into? That's the question. A doorway to where and what? Maybe that's where that man came from. Maybe that's where he vanished again through the magic door. Right, okay, on that note, we will be leaving. Don't know if any of this footage today is worth actually uploading, but if it is, I will do so. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.